In the highest, most classified circles of military intelligence, we are often mesmerized by the seductive concept of technological perfection. We speak in hushed, reverent tones about fifth-generation stealth fighters costing hundreds of millions of dollars per unit and sophisticated cruise missiles that carry the price tag of a small royal fortune. For decades, the prevailing dogma has been that the more expensive and complex the technology, the more certain the victory. But today, I am here to tell you that this dogma is not just being questioned, it is being dismantled at its very foundations. Ask yourself the brutal, unvarnished reality of modern high-intensity conflict. What can a singular, stealthy F-35 achieve if it is limited to carrying only 4 internal missiles while facing an integrated air defense system, IADS, comprised of thousands of layered launchers? Stealth is a finite, depletable resource, but the tactical demand for raw firepower is infinite. In a large-scale conflict against a peer adversary, singular technological superiority will inevitably be crushed by the sheer, relentless law of numbers. The Pentagon has recognized this looming nightmare scenario. They realized they cannot win a war of attrition if every single shot fired costs as much as a suburban mansion. This is the precise, calculated reason why the U.S. Air Force is pivoting back with aggressive, multi-billion-dollar investments in legacy platforms like the F-16 Fighting Falcon and the F-18 Super Hornet. Make no mistake, this is not a retreat into the past. This is a strategic metamorphosis known as affordable mass. The United States is transforming these legendary airframes into long-range magazine trucks, or arsenal ships of the sky. By operating low-cost, stealthy, and highly manufacturable blades, like the ERAM Rusty Dagger and the JDAM-LR, they are changing the calculus of war. The ultimate objective is no longer to create a single weapon that is impossible to shoot down, but to generate a psychological and kinetic storm of munitions so inexpensive that the adversary will face economic and operational bankruptcy before they can even hope to intercept them all. This fundamental shift from a singular quality mindset to an overwhelming quantity doctrine cannot be achieved without aircraft platforms possessing exceptionally flexible digital architectures and resilient engines. Therefore, to understand how this steel storm is formed, we must begin by performing a deep surgical dissection of the internal organs of the F-16, the first and most vital link in this new cruise firepower supply chain. 1. The F-16 Fighting Falcon, from tactical dogfighter to strategic missile magazine. The F-16 Fighting Falcon was originally birthed from the lightweight fighter program designed for the high-G, visceral environment of within-visual range dogfighting. However, it has undergone a total, almost unrecognizable metamorphosis thanks to its modular airframe and the sheer power of the General Electric F110-GE-129 engine. Boasting over 29,000 pounds of raw thrust, the F-16 is no longer just a nimble interceptor. It has become an exceptional high-altitude platform for carrying the heavy, cumbersome loads of standoff munitions. The critical, often overlooked metric here is the RCS, radar cross-section, management. While the F-16 is not a stealth aircraft by modern standards, it serves as the perfect invisible shepherd for munitions that possess their own internal stealth characteristics. When equipped with the ERAM, Rusty Dagger, the F-16 does not need to risk penetration into the heart of contested airspace. It functions as a high-speed mobile launch rail, utilizing its Mach 2 dash capability, allowing the pilot to remain safely outside the no-escape zone of enemy SAM sites. 3. The F-18 Super Hornet, the resilience of the oceanic powerhouse. Unlike the F-16, the F-18 Super Hornet was meticulously engineered to endure the brutal, corrosive, and physically punishing environment of carrier deck operations. Powered by twin F414-GE-400 engines, the Super Hornet offers a level of redundancy, reliability, and heavy payload capacity that few single-engine fighters can match. Under the new affordable mass doctrine, the U.S. Navy has zero intention of risking a $13 billion Ford-class aircraft carrier by moving it within the strike bubble of an adversary's coastal defense network, zones that are now saturated with hypersonic anti-ship missiles and A2/AD, anti-access/area denial, batteries. They required a solution that allows the Super Hornet to effectively launch and leave from hundreds of miles away, effectively turning a tactical fighter into a strategic bomber. 4. The JDAM-LR breakthrough, transforming dumb bombs into cruise missiles. The JDAM, Joint Direct Attack Munition, was originally a simple, ingenious kit designed to convert conventional dumb gravity bombs into short-range, GPS-guided munitions with a range of about 15 miles. However, Boeing's JDAM-LR, long range, is a staggering leap in aerodynamic and propulsion engineering that defies conventional logic. By integrating a miniaturized, high-efficiency turbojet engine and an ultra-high aspect ratio wing kit, the range of a standard 500-pound bomb has exploded from 15 miles to over 345 miles, 555 kilometers. This is the definition of a strike from the shadows. With the JDAM-LR, a Super Hornet pilot can execute complex SEAD, suppression of enemy air defenses, missions without ever appearing on an enemy's terminal engagement radar. The cost-to-lethality ratio here is unprecedented. A JDAM-LR costs a mere fraction of a Tomahawk cruise missile, yet its effectiveness against hardened, fixed targets is nearly identical. By leveraging the millions of 500-pound bombs already sitting in climate-controlled bunkers, the Navy has created a nearly inexhaustible reservoir of long-range, precision Ho-A-Luke firepower. The long-range strike capabilities of the F-16 and F-18 are now firmly established. But the true, terrifying power of this system does not lie in individual sporadic shots. When thousands of ERAMs coordinate with thousands of JDAM-LRs within a unified cybernetic warfare network, we witness the birth of a new tactical entity: saturating interception. 5. The 100,000 target strike scenario, a mathematical certainty of destruction. General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, recently issued a chilling prediction. In a major peer-to-peer conflict, the United States would need the capacity to strike over 100,000 distinct targets in the first few weeks alone. This figure is mathematically unthinkable, using traditional, multi-million-dollar silver bullet missiles. But with the mass production of ERAM and JDAM-LR, this nightmare for the adversary becomes a cold, hard reality. In the Operation Epic Fury strategic simulation, the synergy of this affordable mass unfolds as follows. Phase 1. The Blindness Protocol. F-16 squadrons take off from dispersed, austere airfields, primitive strips of concrete that are difficult for the enemy to target. They launch massive waves of ERAMs at radar nodes and command and control centers deep inland. These missiles fly at nap-of-the-earth altitudes, hugging the terrain to stay beneath the horizon of long-range early warning radars. Phase 2. The Maritime Chokehold. Simultaneously, from over 300 miles offshore, carrier strike groups launch entire wings of F/A-18 Super Hornets. They release clouds of JDAM-LRs aimed at mobile anti-ship missile launchers, coastal logistics hubs, and docked naval assets. Phase 3. Cognitive overload. Because of their collaborative autonomy and networked data links, these munitions do not just fly blindly. They share sensor data. If an enemy radar paints or locks onto one group, another group of missiles automatically reroutes its terminal approach to attack from the rear or the flank. The adversary's air defense computers enter a state of data congestion and total cognitive collapse. They are forced into a losing economic game, using $5 million interceptor missiles to try and stop $100,000 disposable bombs. This radical disparity in both cost and quantity leads to an inevitable, crushing outcome. The adversary will run out of expensive interceptors long before the United States runs out of targets to hit. And once that air defense shield is saturated and subsequently collapses, the final strategic verdict is delivered. My friends, the combination of the F-16, the F/A-18, and this new generation of low-cost, high-mass weaponry like the ERAM and JDAM-LR is the definitive American statement on a new, cold philosophy of war. Dominance no longer belongs to the side with the most expensive weapon, but to the side that can sustain the attack the longest. The Pentagon has executed a move of masterfully cunning pragmatism. they have taken legacy aircraft, platforms that were once arrogantly dismissed as obsolete by those obsessed only with stealth, and transformed them into the most indispensable strategic launch platforms in the modern inventory. The affordable mass strategy is, at its heart, an economic strike against the adversary's industrial base and national treasury. The U.S. approval of over 3,350 ERAM missiles for Ukraine is not just a gesture of aid, it is a clear, unambiguous message to every global power. The era of wars decided by a handful of singular superweapons is over. This is the era of tens of thousands of low-cost, intelligent, and relentless munitions. The adversary can boast all they want about their sophisticated S-400 or S-500 air defense systems that claim to shoot down stealth planes.